Thanks for checking out this Football Fitness Federation webinar today. Thanks to Ben as well for the invitation to put this together and speak about the topic that I'm going to go into today. My name is Tom Joel. I'm the first team sports scientist here at Leicester City. I've been with the club now for 10 seasons. Initially starting out as an intern whilst I was finishing my studies at Loughborough University, and then I worked with the under-23s for a season after graduating before joining up with the first team back in 2014. More recently then, I've also been working with the Iceland national team, getting some sort of exposure to the international side of football as well. But today I'm going to speak about the topic of using different levels of feedback to help inform practice. And I'm going to break this down into sort of three different areas. So there's sort of different levels that we go into when it comes to feeding back on training, the different levels associated with match day feedback, and then finally with rehab as well. And I think it's always worth starting a little bit more broader and painting the picture, if you like. And I think when it comes to feeding back, especially feeding back information and data, I think looking at this sort of collaborative working nature and that side of things is worth touching on. So from our point of view as sports science or fitness coaches, medics, physios, in terms of the different departments or areas that we're working with on a daily basis, we've obviously got the coaches, the management team, and the players. And just a few sort of buzzwords that tend to crop up in most presentations nowadays, but I think they definitely apply to today's topic in terms of communication is obviously key when it comes to collaborative working and working in an effective and sort of harmonious environment, if you like. And you can see here between the sort of different departments, between the medical and sports science, the management and the players, you know, there's different people with different levels of experience, different levels of understanding and knowledge within those different departments. So the key thing in terms of communication is communicating on these different levels and these different levels of understanding, levels of knowledge, levels of feedback. And I think that also applies to, I suppose, within departments as well. So you can see there between, you know, doctors, physios, sports scientists, strength and conditioning coaches, we're all at different levels of knowledge and understanding. So even feeding back to people within our department will be slightly different. Obviously then feeding back to coaches and the management staff will then be done on a different level, communicating in a different way. We're lucky to have coaches that have a good understanding of the physical side of things and in terms of the feedback as well. And within that coaching setup, you've got differences between each coach, you know, ex-players, coaches who come from more of an analysis background, tactical analysis, that side of things. And then, of course, with the players, we've got different levels as well that we need to appreciate and understand. And I think when you look at just some of those other words that I've put on the side in terms of the buy-in, I think when feeding back, we need to make sure that we're gaining that buy-in from the players, the coaches as well. We're getting that sort of that rapport in terms of the communication, and we've got good rapport with the players, with the coaches as well. The trust that you need to develop within this construct as well, and then, of course, support's there in terms of collaborative working. You know, we are obviously there to support the coaches and the management staff and support the players as well. So just looking at things from, let's say my point of view as a sports scientist, and in particular the data side of things in terms of data handling. And if we look at these sort of 5 different phases, if you like, of the collection of the data from various different streams, the management and the handling of that data, the analysis and the methods that we use to analyze that information, visualizing that in a variety of ways, and then how we feed it back. I think if that's the process of data, if you like, from collection to feedback, I think some of the important elements within there about making it streamlined so that we can get the feedback done quickly, making it organized and filtered in terms of that handling of the data, applying the right methods when it comes to analysis, being consistent and understandable in terms of the visualization. But then what I'm going to touch on more today, obviously, is this feedback side of things. So in particular, making sure it's delivered at an appropriate level and making sure that it's insightful and it's valuable. And I think it's worth saying that we're not the type of department or club to, and myself, I'm not the sort of person to go, every 20 minutes knocking on the managers or the coaches' doors to say, oh, look at this report. I think we've got a very good understanding with the coaches that we will feedback what we see necessary. It's not a case of just putting a piece of paper on their desk every single day. It's more about the conversations of when we feel like we need to feedback certain information, we will do so. And there's a good level of trust and understanding between the coaches and our department within that sense. And when